Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have another video in my new series, Christian Fiction for Every Mood. Alright y'all, so we have so many books to talk about on the list today. I am doing part 2 of this new series. If you missed part 1, it's going to be linked in the card and down below in the description. But this is the new series of Christian Fiction for Every Mood. We'll have different genres, different books that you might be in the mood for, different tropes. Today I think we're going to have some biblical fiction, time travel. We're going to have some friendship stories, and we're gonna have books that have like a hint of familiarity. You'll see what I'm talking about there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Reviews will be linked down below in the description. Playlists are going to be linked. I have a lot of recommendation playlists that you can check out as well for anything that you're looking for. Lots of different genre recs already available, but I thought let's go ahead and do a new series, and this is part 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And first, let's talk about biblical fiction. So biblical fiction is one of those genres that I personally love, whether it has a real Bible figure or not, or if it's just a like biblical times fictional characters. So for this, I want to give you 2 different options. One with a real Bible story, and it's kind of more of like inspired by, but like what their story could have been like in the Bible. And then we have a biblical times, not direct Bible figure in this story as well. So 2 options. Not comfortable reading biblical fiction, that's totally fine. I totally understand why some people are not comfortable with that, but for me, it helps me kind of go back to God's word and see the truth of the matter a lot of times, and just to learn and empathize and more about the context and the historical aspects of things. So that's why I read it. I really enjoy it. And they are some of my favorite books of all time. So first up, we'll talk about the one that is more fictionalized characters in biblical times, and that is Counted with the Stars by Connilyn Cossette. This book won in her Out from Egypt series. It was one of my early biblical fiction stories that I read. I was blown away with this book. I gave it a 5-star. I read this in 2022 or 23. Okay. And this is her debut novel. I was blown away with how connected I was to this story. This is set in the time period of Exodus in the Bible. I think the only mentions, Moses was mentioned, of course, but I don't remember. He might have been in there briefly. I'm pretty sure someone told me that. But this is primarily fictionalized character in biblical times, okay? And you see this young Egyptian woman who is named Kaya, and she was sold into slavery by her father. She was forsaken by the man she was supposed to marry, and she becomes friends with a young Hebrew woman, and she flees with the Hebrews after going through all of the plagues that are described in the book of Exodus. And you don't know if is she gonna turn her life to God? Is she going to go back to Egypt? What's gonna happen? It's very biblically accurate in my opinion, and it transports you right into the culture of the Egyptians and the Hebrews, and you see like the plagues from the Egyptians' point of view and things like that. I was very intrigued by that. So read it really quick. It's definitely one that I enjoy. I want to continue on in the series. I still haven't. But Connilyn Cossette tells really good historical, like fictionalized, most of her books are fictionalized characters in historical biblical times, and I always really enjoy them. So next we've got Land of Silence by Tessa Afshar. This was my favorite book of 2024. It was very compelling. Tessa Afshar is known for her biblical fiction, that she tells the Bible stories of real biblical figures, what their lives could have been like. This is centered all around the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, and you see like in Matthew, her story, it's like 2 scriptures, and I'll read them to you. Matthew 9:20 through 22. And behold, a woman who had suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his garment. For she said to herself, if I only touch his garment, I will be made well. Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, take heart, daughter, your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. And this story is one that Tessa Afshar took those few sentences of scripture and made a whole story, gave her a name, and like what her life could have been like, right? So it was amazing. I cried. I had a vlog for this too. I will link it if you guys want to see it with all the emotions. There's no like spoilers or anything, but it was just a beautiful story. I sobbed. It was emotional, and it was like this woman's faith made her well, and it was inspiring for me in my own faith walk. It's one of those like books that encouraged my faith, right? I want to do a video on that, and this is definitely one of them. This woman had been through so much in this story, and she still says she would do it all over again if it just brought her closer to God. Mic drop. Like, that's what I need to be knowing. Like, I need to have the same thoughts, okay? Things you go through, if it brings you through it closer to Him, it's worth it. Like, it's what it's all about. It's like forgiveness, faith, healing, resilience, coming back to Him, relationship with Him. He is constantly working on us, and that's all I got to say about this. It's so good. It's one of my favorites, okay? So if you're in the mood for something that's going to stir your heart for the Lord, I feel like these are some really good books, okay, for that. I feel like a broken record when we're going to talk about this series, but When the Day Comes and In This Moment, by Gabrielle Meyer, if you are in the mood for time travel, right, from Christian fiction, you want time travel. Like, When the Day Comes was my favorite book of 2023. In This Moment was a favorite, I want to say, of 2024. Was it 2020? Yeah, 2023, 2024. Either way. These were favorite books. I also have read the third book, but we're only choosing 2 books for this series per prompt, whatever you want to call it. Mood, all that stuff, genre. If you're in the mood for a time travel book, this is what I recommend. When the Day Comes, which, by the way, this whole series apparently is going to be 10 books. That she just announced it. So, am I gonna read them? Yeah. Have I still not read book 4? Yes. I'm not. Okay. October. I promise I'm gonna read Across the Ages in October. I'm telling somebody so y'all keep me accountable. Alright, because Oshina's reading it. She's loving it. Teresa just read it. She loved it. And I'm like, why have I not read it? So, we're gonna get into it. But When the Day Comes, this is all about Libby, who lives 2 lives, and one is in 1774 in Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia, and the other is in 1914 New York. She wakes up each day alternating these different timelines, and when she turns 21, she has to make the difficult decision. Is she going to stay in the 1700s or in 1914? And so Libby is going through all of these difficult things. She has to make some very hard decisions of where she's meant to be. There is a romance in this. I sobbed when something was revealed at the end. It was beautiful. And this is the book that helped me realize I didn't need Outlander anymore, and I was able to just get those off my shelf, and because I really was on this journey of clean reading, and that was one of the series that I just kept, like, I kept making excuses for it. You can see it in my early videos. Like, I don't know about this, but the Lord's always refining us in what we are reading and what we're watching and our convictions, discernment. This book is what really helped me realize I didn't need the Outlander anymore. Trusting in the Lord, no matter what's going on, like his plan is the plan, and it was so good. Now, I will say, this book does have some trigger warnings. There's 2 small scenes of marital sexual assault, but they're not very detailed in any way, but it's there. It's very off page, in my opinion. You see the emotions and stuff of that, but I want to always mention that with this book, just so that you're aware of content when you get into it, and you can make your own decision if you want to read this book, but I will say it is very off page and not explained in detail. Then we have book 2, which is In This Moment, and this follows Maggie, and this is 3 times, 3 timelines. So we've got 1861, 1941, and 2001. So there's just all these great timelines, and the way that she does her time travel is very well explained. Time travel is something, like, I've tried other time travel books, and they just don't hit like this one. And it's something about the way she weaves time travel together. That's one thing I think Diana Gabaldon with the Outlander series kind of ruined for me, is her time travel was explained. And, like, for me, it needs to make sense. And Diana's did make sense, in my opinion. It made sense. There was, like, everything explained in great detail. I need that personally. I want that. I don't want it to just be like, okay, this person can time travel, this person can, this person can. Like, how's it work? You know, like, I need to know. And Gabrielle Meyer does a really good job of explaining her time travel system, if you will. So, highly recommend this series as well. So, book 2, I don't remember had any triggers that I marked, but book 1 did. So, yeah. All right. Now, if you want a good friendship story, I know I am a broken record, but my girls, read these books, Tea with Elephants and Gelato at the Villa. I know I already talked about these recently, so I'll be brief, but if you want good friendships, female friendship stories, these are it. These are great contemporary women's fiction, travel, friendship stories. Robin Jones Gunn is known for that, and these are phenomenal in that regard. So in Tea with Elephants, these friends are traveling to Africa on this safari, and it is beautiful. Same thing, beautiful travel story. In Gelato at the Villa, they go to Italy, and the Lord is all over these stories. So Tea with Elephants, I think I gave 4 stars, maybe 4.5, and then Gelato at the Villa, look at the tabs. It was a 5-star read. I have a whole vlog for it. It'll be linked. So not going to get into too much of the details, but the Lord is a heavy Christian faith content, especially Gelato at the Villa. I felt like had some really, really great come to back to Jesus moment. Listen, I'm a sucker for that. So that's another thing. Like if you're in the mood for like a book that's going to be like high Christian faith content, and it's contemporary, and it's women's fiction, and it's friendship, and it's travel, Robin Jones Gunn, I will forever be singing her praises with these series. It was so good. I remember reading Tea with Elephants when I was at the cabin. I did a reading vlog with it too, so I'll link it too. We were at the cabin last year, and it was the perfect time to read this. It was so good. Fall time. I think fall is perfect for those books. Even though like Gelato at the Villa is more summery, I still feel like they're great fall reads any time of the year. So the last section of this video is going to be all about books that have like a hint of familiarity. That's what I'm calling them. Meaning like maybe there's some bookish references you're familiar with, right? Like Lord of the Rings, okay? Maybe there is like a hint of Beauty and the Beast that you're familiar with. I am reaching, but I just want to recommend these books. So Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. Listen, I've been saying her name wrong. Y'all, I should have recorded this. I've been saying Fordham. It's Fordham. I confirmed with her. And she was like, it's fine. She don't care. And she doesn't care if I say it right or wrong. She said, honey, you're good. And she's so sweet. And I was like, there was a debate me and the hubs was having. And he was like, that's Fordham. He said Fordham. He was like, Amanda. I was like, it's Fordham. Because I did a reel on Instagram about her book, Spotlight. And he was like, Amanda, you're not saying that right. And I was like, we're going to confirm. He was right. I got the roast. But still, Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. Now, as far as faith content, I wouldn't say this necessarily has much faith content, but it is one that is a clean, like, Beauty and the Beast inspired story. I just loved the book. And I feel like anybody who wants a book that's very familiar to like a Beauty and the Beast, this is not necessarily a full retelling, but it's very inspired by it. And I love that. This is set in the early 1900s, and we have our main girl of Sadie West. Her family is in dire financial straits, and so she needs to go work at this duster factory. She has nowhere to live, so she ends up staying in this old abandoned building, and this throws her right into the path of the town's mysterious bachelor, Otis Taylor. And Otis ends up hiring Sadie, and there's a condition that she cannot tell anybody that he has returned to town. So Sadie and Otis end up getting to know each other, and they start to care for one another, and she starts to show like how much he like truly matters, regardless of his scars that he has, that he's embarrassed of, that he's been like as this exiled man by his father many years ago, and he has just been he's kept so much in and hidden for so long that the way this ended was just really beautiful in that regard. So he was able to kind of deal with the past of his family, what he had endured. Sadie was a great character. She really showed like how much he mattered, and I love that. Like, it's a little bit of a grumpy sunshine between them. I love that as well. And there were these really great letters, and there's music and interactions between them that remind you of like a Beauty and the Beast. And there's, you know, I just love the little elements that were sprinkled throughout. Like I said, it's not a full retelling, but it's a familiar story in that regard. So yeah, one of my favorites. And then we've got Authentically, Izzy by Pepper Basham. Listen, it's been a minute since I've talked about this series, and I have a full video dedicated to this when I first read it in 2022. It is one of my favorite series, the Scamar series, but Authentically Izzy was a full Amanda book. Like, it really was. This has so many good bookish references, and it's why I want to recommend it, because it's just familiar. Like, it has just the greatest book references, you guys. Middle-earth, The Hobbit. There's also some Scotland feel, because the Scamarian Islands remind you of Scotland in a way. it's just super cute. So this one is very epistolary in nature, which means you've got emails, texts, all this stuff in here. And so I'd say the majority of this is written in epistolary form with like maybe 25% narrative. So if that's something that's hard for you, like Positively Penelope, which is book 2, had maybe kind of half and half, and then well, maybe not even half, maybe 60-40, maybe 60% narrative. I can't even remember, but it definitely had more narrative than the epistolary stuff. And then she even took it down even more with Luke's book, Laura Lee Luke, because Luke, he ain't writing no emails. Okay, he ain't texting, okay? So it's just a really good, feel good, if you're in that mood for something lighthearted, like found family, like this whole series is just super cute. But we have our main character of Isabella Edgewood, Izzy, of course, Izzy, okay, and she lives by the Blue Ridge Mountains, and she loves books, all the things, and she's like, her cousins are wanting her to like go on dates and stuff, so her cousin tries to do like a match. Her cousin tries to matchmake her. She ends up talking to some guy, Brody the Hobbit, they call him. They hit it off. It just has like the cutest romance. Like, it's just really cute. Like, their interactions, their chats, they're like acting like Lord of the Rings characters. I love Lord of the Rings. I read so much out loud too in the vlog that I did like a whole montage because we had like a Middle Earth wedding in that video. I will link it. Please go watch it. It's from years ago. I still had blonde hair back then, honey. It is like so cute. It was my favorite videos I ever did on the channel. Sam, y'all, it's raining. We need to wrap this up. I don't know. It's super cute. Very familiar with bookish references. Super cute. So that's all I have for this video, okay? Let me know if you've read any of these books, if they sound interesting. Are there any of these on your radar? I'm trying to kind of go back and pick up some of the books that I haven't talked about in a little bit. Some I know I've talked about. Like, I'm beating a dead horse. I am literally broken record over here. But, you know, that's what recommendations are for. Like, new people may find this video. If it's the first time watching the channel, please stick around and subscribe. I hope that you will enjoy the content. I'm all about recommending good, clean, and Christian fiction books. And I want to just remind you guys of these great books and put more out in the world so you guys can know about them. So, sorry, the cat. I hope you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned for part 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all!